the world extends beyond the borders of America. And if one country is wealthy and another is in poverty, that poverty eventually encroaches on your levels of discomfort, and you will never, your status of wealth cannot remain. And it was really through her insight, her influence, that she brought IWFSA firstly to South Africa. And the growth we've seen in the developing world is actually her vision to make the world more inclusive and interconnected. And that's how we were allowed to establish the International Women's Forum South Africa as a chapter.
Now let's look at it. Looking at Africa and some parts of the Middle East, women are still being marginalized in some parts of Africa and the Middle East. And there's a sense that they are deprived of education. How do you deal with that as an organization?
Well, you know, we don't even have to go beyond the borders of South Africa and the Middle East. But yes, our struggles are interconnected. And when you look at the status of the girl child in South Africa when it comes to the STEM sectors, science, technology, engineering and mathematics, we know that girls are not performing as well as boys do. So in a way, it is about charity begins at home. You need to get your own house in order. But what we then do is to say that if we've achieved significant levels of educational achievements in our country, let's use our examples. Let's use our learnings from our own struggles to empower other countries and to encourage them and support them in their fight. And women are not, you know, women are marginalized, period, across the world. And so the fight is long from over as we celebrate our very young democracy and our 20 years. We still have a long way to go. And we just have to look at what's happened to the north of our border when hundreds of girls can be taken away, and for the moment they have disappeared.
Now, let's focus on the conference. What do you want people to take away from that conference?
Well, you know, the way in which the IWFSA works is very much like FIFA. Before you host an event, you've got to do your confed. So if you look at, we have the Confederation Cup, where we prepare at a country level for a continental showpiece, and then you go global. So this conference, Africa Rising, is our precursor to the global conference, which we bid for a few years ago. It's a very contested space. It may not enjoy as much attention as FIFA, but we won the rights to host the conference in 2015, and this is the dry run. But again, South African women often do things differently. We said this won't be an South Africa dry run for a global conference, it will be an African dry run. So our top leaders, both in business, in academia, in rural development, in development, will all be here on the 18th and the 19th to look at the tremendous opportunity Africa has moving forward. You know, there are billions of dollars locked in infrastructure rollout and development, and that's what the conference is going to look at. How do we unleash this incredible growth spurt that the continent has embarked upon? And
that would obviously then talk to how do we empower women?
Absolutely, and one of the key differentiators of IWFSA is don't call us once the men have signed the deals, because normally they say the men do the deals, you know, they are going to build the roads, they're going to build the railway lines, they're going to open up the airways, and then women have to come in and clean and cook and cater. We say no, that is not when you involve rural and poor women. They have to be part of the deal when it is made, and maybe in the future we'll invite our males to work with us as we cook, clean and cater.
Now, talking about males, one of your keynote speakers will be former President Thabo Mbeki, and who else will be there?
Oh, we have a range of the trailblazers of South African business women, people like Tryphosa Romano, who is the CFO at PPC, and when you just look at her performance at one of the oldest, in fact, it is the oldest listed entity on the Joburg Stock Exchange. Tryphosa has changed the face of cement. women are running operations. The first black female to run a cement plant in Rwanda has come through the development program of the IWFSA, our strategic leadership program, where we identify young women with leadership potential into the future. So there's the value chain. We work in rural areas when we build cement. Trifosa is a member of IWFSA. She makes sure that she attracts people, young women from the rural community. We put them through our strategic leadership program. And the first plant in Rwanda, which will be opened by PPC, is headed by a dynamic black young female.
Wonderful. Now, any female watching this program today and want to be part of this conference and want to be part of IWF, what do they do? How do they get in touch with you?
Well, you can come to the conference. It is on the 18th and the 19th at the Sandton International Convention Center. Go onto our website, www.iwfsa.coza. And I want to encourage young women who are watching the program. Yes, there is a fee to come to the conference, but please do not let that stand in your way. Come to our website, make the call. I was going to give out my cell phone number, but I don't think I'm going to do that, because we will make sure that if you don't have the money to attend the conference, we will enable you, even if we as business women have to then pay your entrance fee. So come and look for me the morning of the conference. If you want to come to the conference, if you don't have the money, I will make sure that a couple of us as business women will pay your entrance fee, your registration fee.
And finally, I did ask this question, what do you want those women that come there that morning to take away with them?
Well, we need to firstly believe that Africa is in our hands. And as we clinch business opportunities, we have to implement that. You know, we've been sitting on R1 trillion infrastructure rollout program that has not been implemented. If we don't turn the ideas into actual deliverables, nobody will be empowered. We have to get on and do the work.
Judy, as always, thank you so much for joining us here on AM News and joining us here in studio.
Thank you very much.
That's Judy Nwokedi. She is the CEO of Tourvest, COO of Tourvest SA, Leading Integrated Tourist Company, and of course a board member of the International Women's Forum SA. And that conference will be taking place on the 18th and the 19th at the Sandton Convention Center. So if you're a woman out there and you're listening or you're watching this program, be there. It's very important. Thank you once again, Judy.